right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are breaking down a performance of just pure, suffocating dominance. I'm talking about Hamza Chimaev's championship victory. Honestly, it was less of a fight and more of a masterclass in absolute control.
You know, you don't really need me to tell you what it was like. Just listen to what Dricus Du Plessis said after 5 grueling rounds with the new champ. He's just like a blanket. Wow. I mean, that is just a perfect, almost haunting image for a fight that was defined by one thing and one thing only: overwhelming, inescapable control.
Okay, so let's set the stage here. This was for all the marbles, right? A high-stakes middleweight championship fight. But the story here, it isn't about those wild back-and-forth exchanges or some dramatic last-second knockdown. No. This is about how one fighter completely, and I mean completely, neutralized the other with a single-minded, relentless strategy. And that's the crazy part, right? Even though this thing went the full 5 rounds, the full 25 minutes, the outcome, it felt decided almost immediately. Chimaev established his dominance right from the opening bell, and he just set a tone that his opponent could never, ever break. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's look at this blueprint. Chimaev's entire strategy, the whole thing, it revolved around one simple, brutally effective principle: get the fight to the mat. That's it. He had zero interest in standing and trading punches. He wanted to drag this fight into his world, and that world is on the ground. And his main tool for the job? The classic double leg takedown. It's a cornerstone of wrestling. It's exactly what it sounds like. You drop your level, you drive through your opponent's legs, and you take them for a ride. For Chimaev, this one move, this was the key that unlocked the entire victory. And just look at how fast he put this plan into motion. The first round starts, Chimaev throws a quick front kick, but look, it's not really meant to do damage, it's a setup. The instant Du Plessis reacts to it, boom, Chimaev shoots in, gets that double leg, and the fight is on the canvas. Just like that. Du Plessis, he tries a desperation guillotine choke, but Chimaev just shrugs it off with ease. And right there, the fight was exactly where he wanted it. So, look, getting the takedown is one thing, right? A lot of guys can do that. But keeping your opponent there and maintaining that level of dominance, that's something else entirely. And this is where Chimaev's specific methods of control come into play, turning a single move into 5 straight rounds of just relentless, suffocating pressure. He did this with something you could call smothering control. And the key word here is efficiency. This isn't about, frantically scrambling and burning a ton of energy. It's the exact opposite. It's all about using strategic positioning and just heavy body weight to completely neutralize your opponent. You're draining their gas tank while barely touching your own. It's brilliant. And then, once that suffocating control was locked in, he could finally unleash his main offensive weapon: ground and pound. It's exactly what it sounds like. From a dominant top position, you just systematically strike your opponent, who has almost no way to effectively defend themselves. It's a nightmare scenario. So really, you can break down the entire fight into this simple, repeatable, and absolutely devastating 3-step process. Step 1, secure the takedown. Get the fight on your terms. Step 2, establish that smothering, energy-sapping control. And step 3, inflict damage. That's it. He just ran that same play again and again and again all night long. And you can see on this timeline just how that pressure built up, round after round. It all starts with that immediate takedown in round 1. By round 3, the damage really starts to pile up with these crushing elbows. Then you get to round 4, and you can just see it. Du Plessis is visibly exhausted. And round 5, that was just the final suffocating punctuation mark on the whole performance. Now, the fight itself tells one story, right? But the post-fight interviews, man, they reveal something absolutely fascinating. We get to hear from both guys in their own words, and their perspectives create this incredible contrast between pure, raw instinct and the brutal experience of being on the receiving end of it. And this is where the story gets so cool. On one side, you've got the new champion, Chimaev, basically saying it was all instinct. I don't have never game plan. But then, listen to Du Plessis. He describes an opponent who felt like a supercomputer, someone who was constantly steps ahead, someone who felt as if he knew what your next move was going to be. How do you square those two things?
And honestly, this quote from Du Plessis might be the single most telling insight from the entire night. It wasn't a matter of strength. He goes out of his way to clarify that Chimaev's dominance wasn't about being some brute force, physically overpowering guy. No, it was technical. It was efficient. He achieved that total control, in Du Plessis' own words, without using too much power. Wow. That just speaks volumes about the level of skill we were watching.
Okay, so let's bring it all home. Let's wrap this up. What are the big takeaways from this performance? And what does this kind of dominance actually look like when the judges turn in their final scorecards? Well, there it is, the official result. A unanimous decision for Khamzat Chimaev. All three judges saw the fight exactly the same way. A clear, comprehensive, no doubt about it victory. There was no controversy, no questions, just a confirmation of the total control we all witnessed for 25 straight minutes. At the end of the day, what we saw was a masterclass. It really was. It was a perfect demonstration of how a fighter can take a specific strategy and just completely shut down a very dangerous opponent. This victory wasn't won on a lucky punch. It was won through superior, world-class grappling and incredibly smart energy management. And so that leaves us with the one big question hanging over the entire division. After a performance this suffocating, this complete, where the game plan was so obvious yet so utterly unstoppable, who out there can possibly solve the puzzle of Khamzat Chimaev?